Hello fellow humans, and welcome to Flow Friday, where we go over not just the alignment of individual postures, but also how to flow from one to the other safely and effectively. This week, we're working on Our first transition today will be from forward fold into chair pose. If you need to see how to get from downward facing dog into forward fold, check out last week's video on Sun Salutation A. From forward fold, bend your knees, lift your chest, and bring your arms by your ears. The amount of intensity will come from how much you bend your knees. In chair pose, focus first on your spine. If you are tight, your spine will be rounded. If you can't straighten your spine, then it could be helpful to reach your arms in front of you and work only on spinal mobility. If you are more flexible, then you may have an extra sway in your back, potentially putting too much stress on your body. If so, then press your belly button back and hug your lowest ribs together to draw your spine back into alignment. The location of your chest, up or down, doesn't matter as much as maintaining the natural curves. To get even more out of your chair pose, lean your weight into your heels instead of your toes, and keep sitting down until you feel like you are really working hard. After all that, the last tip is to squeeze your inner thighs together in the middle of your thighs, so that your knees are just a sliver apart from one another. Let's look at a couple different ways to get from downward facing dog to low lunge. First, you can walk your feet a little closer and then bring your right foot between your hands before moving up into Warrior 2. Next, you can lift your leg high, bring it through towards your hands, and you can even bring your hand to move it the rest of the way forward. Lastly, you can lift your opposite leg and then jump your hips up to float your foot between your hands. While you're learning how to do this, it's not only normal, but expected that you'll have to hop more than one time. If you'd like to explore floating forward more, check out last week's Sun A video where we went over floating forward with both legs. The difference is that here, you'll keep your legs in an L to land in low lunge instead of forward fold. Next, let's explore these quintessential standing postures, starting with Warrior 2. The first thing to think about is how to stack your joints. Starting with your front knee, stack it directly over your ankle so that your shin is perpendicular with the mat. If you need less intensity, instead of just bending your knee less, try shortening your stance. That way your joints are still stacked, but there is a bigger angle at your knee. If you need more intensity, then instead of just bending your knee more, walk your feet further apart, up till your knee has a 90-degree bend. A similar note for safety is to stack your knee in the lateral direction as well, not too far left or too far right. Next, let's look at the spine. Keep your shoulders directly over your hips to maintain proper spinal alignment. It is easy and common to think that hinging forward makes this posture better or more intense. Instead of forward, think about lifting your spine up as you keep your legs in the same position. Finally, let's look at some muscle engagement. In order to anchor your feet, you can either hug your heels together or spread your feet apart. It is very important that your feet don't actually move, but that this action has your muscles turn on. Then, hug your core in from all four directions. Elongate your spine in both directions. Reach your fingertips apart, and hug your shoulders into their sockets. These actions will only take a minute to watch, but yet a lifetime to master. For the next two postures, keep everything in your legs the exact same. Much easier said than done. To keep it quick, we will only talk about the changes in your torso. In extended side angle, keep your spine straight, even though you are no longer perpendicular to the earth. If your spine rounds like this, keep your chest up higher and play around with the angle of your hips in order to keep this alignment. The hinge down comes from the hip joint, not the thoracic spine. For today in Reverse Warrior, let's just talk about one thing. Avoid collapsing in the back line of your body. First, lift straight up, then back. Maintain the lift up so much that you feel as though someone is lifting you up from your back ribs. Okay, that was a lot of information all at one time, so let's let it sink in by watching it flow from breath to movement. Thank you so much for exploring with us today. I would absolutely love to make a video based on my viewers' needs. If anything I said was confusing, contradictory to what you've heard before, or if you simply have more questions, please let me know in the comment section, so that way we can all learn and grow together. And until next time, keep making gratitude happen.